So I want to go back to the Bills really quickly. So Josh Allen, this is what he did against the Patriots. He was 27 for 35, 9 yards per pass, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think he had over 100 quarterback rating, almost like an 85 or something QBR. Absolutely stellar performance. We've discussed this before too, Silas. Where does Josh rank for you in the NFL in terms of QB?
Quick question before I answer that. How many yards did he throw for?
3? I'm going to have to look that up too, Silas.
Okay. Now, this might be, he might be AFC Player of the Week again. That would be like 4 times he's been AFC Player of the Week this week, or this year. That's crazy. Is he an elite quarterback? I mean, he's number 3 in MVP voting, and he's been able to put this performance on, this type of performance, for
322 passing yards.
How many?
322. I was going to say 300.
Yeah. And he did that in 3 quarters, because remember, he didn't play the 4th quarter.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about 4 touchdowns, 300 and something yards, close to, a little bit, he's at the top half of 300 yards. I don't know, Dale. I mean, I honestly think he's had about as good as a season as anybody can ask for. I will say this: in the beginning of the year, I thought they were going to pass, or I thought they were going to run the ball a little bit more. I thought they were going to run the ball to set up the pass, and they've quite literally done the opposite. I will admit, I need to take back every negative thing I said about Josh Allen. I said a lot of incriminating things on my part. I incriminated myself a lot on that topic in the past, and I hope if Josh Allen ever hears this podcast, he recognizes that.
So did I.
I'm deeply sorry, and he has my most humble regards. He is an elite quarterback. He is easily a top 5 quarterback in the league.
I called Josh Allen a scrub when the Bills drafted him. And I apologize to you too, Josh. I was wrong. You proved me wrong. And you're not
me wrong for sure.
And I'm happy about it. I was wrong.
I'm happy you proved me wrong. We need to get, if there's anybody who needs a contract extension, it is that man, Josh Allen. He deserves the contract extension. Now, I will say, he puts his body in harm's way, and I do not want to end up in a Cam Newton situation, okay, where we commit to a person long-term and then he gets hurt. I think Josh Allen has a window of maybe not this height, but something very similar to it for the next 5 to 6 years. So I think the Buffalo Bills have a legitimate window to win a championship.
So with Josh, so if we're going to say Mahomes 1, let's say 2 Rodgers, 3 Russell Wilson, we've had this conversation, Deshaun Watson 4, is Josh Allen at 5? Like before, because before you would tell me that you thought Kyler was better. Can we say Josh Allen is better than Kyler Murray?
Josh Allen is in fact better than Kyler Murray. I will say, I needed more evidence because up until this point, they were playing pretty much the same. Last year, Kyler Murray did play better in his rookie year than Josh Allen did. And up until the time when, up until the Hail Mary game with the Arizona Cardinals, when he lost to Kyler Murray, I'm sorry. Kyler Murray was actually ahead of MVP talks. So I had a reason to say Kyler was better. But in these past couple of weeks, it has not been close. Kyler Murray has fell off a cliff compared to Josh Allen. And I would say Josh Allen, as of right now, is the better quarterback. I would say that Josh Allen, top 5 quarterback in the league. For sure.
Now, in terms of the contract extension, I do really quick want to get to this. There's some debate that you should wait because... number one, like we see what happened with Carson Wentz and the Eagles. They gave him the contract extension. They kind of had to bottom out the roster after they won the Super Bowl, right? And Carson Wentz has regressed since that MVP year or a near MVP level year he had, where I think he finished second in the voting to Tom Brady. Should there be any concern with the Bills and say he had this really one amazing year? Let's see what he does next year.
So here's the reason why I'm going to say no, and this is not recency bias. Carson Wentz had this season, but he was coming off a torn ACL, right? And the fact that you won a Super Bowl, right, with a man who was solid in Nick Foles, but I think most people would agree is not a world beater. And
it turns out Carson Wentz isn't one either.
and it turns out Carson Wentz isn't one one either. Exactly. Carson Wentz, and I've always said this, had he had never torn his ACL, I think he would have been able to be probably top 5, top 10 quarterback, maybe top 7. I'll give him top 7 quarterback. Man tore his ACL. And like I try and tell people all the time, not everybody. Some people do. The medicine's great. Rehab is great. The trainers are amazing. Not everybody comes back from that injury the same. Carson Wentz has never been the same since a torn ACL. And there are plenty of people that we could say are just like Carson Wentz, who tear their ACL and they're never the same again. That could be about how you condition yourself. That could be how serious you take your rehab. That could be genetic. Whatever it is, he is not the same that he has been since that injury. So if you're asking me to compare Josh Allen to Carson Wentz's situation, it's not fair. Josh Allen has never had a catastrophic injury the likes of what Carson Wentz had. There is no way I'm paying somebody if they get an injury like that. A perfect example, look at Dak Prescott, same division as Carson Wentz. Why in the world would they pay Dak Prescott what he's asking for when this man looked like his foot was going to come off, right? This is real. I hate to say it like this, but you know, this is inclusive evidence that is a bad idea to sign long term. Josh Allen has been completely healthy. Josh Allen has been in this system now for 3 years, getting ready to go on 4 years. I think you sign with what he's asking for right now, because the longer you don't, the higher that price tag is going to go up. You break even what you got right now. The bottom line is, you know you're going to have to sign him. And even if he gets hurt, you know you're probably going to want to sign a guy like Josh Allen anyway. You break bread, you get the deal done, you sign on the dotted line, you keep on surrounding him with pieces to go out and compete for championships.
And you say competing for championships, right? Also, by the way, he passed Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Most passing touchdowns in a year. That's really awesome. And Jim Kelly was kind of like, yeah, I'm happy. It means we're winning, the fact that he did that. I don't give a F about my record. So I love that coming from Jim. So